Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
Welcome to the Real Chat Podcast,
where we talk business, lifestyle, and mindset.
For the modern entrepreneur.
I'm Baxter Colburn.
I'm Allison Elise.
I'm Mandi Wilkie. Let's chat. Season 3. Welcome back to the Real Chat Podcast. We're taking a different twist.
I like twists. It's fun.
We're kicking off. I'm kicking. You can't see because we're not videoing. We are audio only. Yeah. And we are loving it because we didn't have to get cute this morning. So kicking off season 3, we've got a great lineup of guests. And today we have dance mom, pastor's wife, mom to 3 girls.
And 2 boys.
And two boys.
Yep.
And family in California. Did I get that right?
Yeah, used to be. My dad actually just moved back here to the area.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, Mary Kay woman, right?
Yes.
Woman, Mary Kay woman.
Big
so we
deal.
have,
I love that.
Libby Carlson is here with us today.
Can we clap? I don't know.
Welcome.
I think
You can't see me, but I'm waving my arms.
Yes,
right now. I'm so excited.
I met the beautiful Libby, I think originally at the Nest, but then didn't we find out our girls dance together and then they play softball together, and now I just see her everywhere. So I think that's how we originally met. Mm-hmm. So kudos to co-working spaces. We love those.
I love that.
And then I'm not sure you two want to chime in on how
I just met you.
I was going to say, Allie met her for the first time
Those
today.
are the best.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And then we have a whole different relationship, right? Still church related. I go to Central Church, which is where your husband James is a pastor at. And we've just connected, and now my wife and you are good friends as well. And we've done life for the last couple of years together.
Yeah, I love Rachel and Baxter.
And you're good enough friends where she should bake you things. Rachel should bake you baked goods at least once a week.
And we brought them.
Yes.
Right. Perfect.
We brought
Rachel,
pumpkin cookies.
I already ate mine.
We would like more treats for the podcast.
Correct. Rachel will sponsor the podcast with baked goods.
Yeah.
Featured baked good of the episode.
Libby's kicking off season 3 because we have gotten a lot of feedback. We get great feedback from our few listeners that we have, and continuing to bring entrepreneurs on that have work-life balance, high demands. Libby's in a role where you probably don't want to get up and do it every day. Maybe you do. Maybe you're the exemption to the rule, but sometimes it's hard to get up and do this every day. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in Mary Kay. Was it like, this is going to be a side hustle, I love makeup, and it turned into this booming business? Or tell us take us back.
Yeah, that's super fun. So I've been doing Mary Kay full-time for 10 years, which is wild.
Wild.
Yes, I know. So crazy. So pre-Mary Kay days, I actually have a degree in marketing and finance. And so my husband and I got married, and in 2011, so we've been married 13 years. And then like right after we got married, I worked and I loved my job. I worked in corporate America, and like, I'm not the person who hated their job and was looking for something else. That was not my story. I literally loved my job. I traveled, made really good money, but then we started having babies.
Those babies, they change.
That's where they get you.
Ah, man.
My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so I felt like that was the right thing to do. So I actually quit my job to become a stay-at-home mom. And what I quickly realized is nobody pays stay-at-home mom, which is
The cheapest labor ever.
literally
Unpaid labor.
crime.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Right.
you work 24/7. So I was kind of looking for something that I could do, but around my family schedule and like more flexible. But I never thought I would do anything in like the direct sales space. Like I honestly thought people who sold Mary Kay were like bored losers who had nothing better to do with their life. If I'm
Except for drive pink cars.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I love the products because Mary Kay's the only thing that ever cleared up my skin. So since 16 years old, that's all I've ever used.
Did you use the 5-step
Wow.
skincare process?
No, I used the one for teenagers back then.
Oh,
so
I started with the 5-step
Yeah.
skincare process with Mary Kay when I was 14.
it used to be 5 steps. It's a lot simpler now.
Right,
But
right.
I think it was a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's
it's
what Rachel and
The
I did.
fact that you know that,
Totally
Baxter, I love
customized.
it.
I use it every
You
day.
It's like, what do you
But
think?
I look
makes
at
me look
Baxter's
good?
skin.
thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So-
You
I got
glow
called
so
26
great.
the other day. I was like,
Woo.
thank you.
That's
Glowing
awesome.
for sure.
So anyways, fast forward, my good friend Kim, who I was buying Mary Kay products from, she's like, Libby, you should really think about starting a Mary Kay business. And I literally said no 4 times. But then James, my husband, actually was like, hun, just give it a try. Like, if you hate it, you can quit. You know, you're not married
At least you
to
get your makeup for half off.
Yes,
Right, exactly.
totally. There's so many perks. So I started my business in 2014. And quickly, like, just fell in love. I didn't have instant success for sure. Like, there's so many things you have to like grow in personally to like be successful in any business, right? You have to like really die to yourself. You have to be okay with rejection. You have to be okay with people
Hearing
thinking
the word
you're
no.
nuts. You have to be okay with lots of no's. You have to be
and learning how to overstep that boundary. Like when you have a friend, where does the line get crossed?
Yes.
I want to introduce this to my friend because I think they'd love it, but I don't want them to feel the pressure of having to do
not taking it personally either.
Totally.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Be like, I'm your friend, but it's still
Exactly.
no for me type of thing. You're like, oh, okay.
One thing I always share with like the women that I lead is I always say, pretend like you have a pack of gum in your purse and you're pulling it out and you're saying like, hey, if I'm in a group of, 5 women, I pull out my gum, I'll say, hey, do you want a piece of gum? Do you want a piece of gum? Some are going to say yes. Some are going to say no. It's not like they hate you if they say no to your gum. They just don't want your gum.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
That is such a great way to put it.
yeah. So that's why I always tell people like, some people just aren't into chewing gum, and that's okay.
Well, and
they love you.
I love that.
One thing that I can relate to with that is I'm going to share if I love a cup of coffee, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, you got to go here and get a cup of coffee. If I love a good meal, if I've seen a good movie or read a good book. So why wouldn't I share something that makes my skin look good or share a business that I'm passionate about, which is what I do on the daily.
Yes.
So I think perspective is a lot of what you need to shift people's mindsets in when they're doing direct sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's a favor that I'm telling you about this.
And applying it to your own life is what sells it, I feel. Like in direct sales, you're using the products.
Yes.
You're physically using them in your day-to-day life. They're making your life easier in the morning when you're taking care of all of your children. And so when you're talking about that, now me, I come from like the social media space. So you're like, so many people start direct sales and businesses that way. And it's so, cool to be able to just say, this is my life personally.
Yes.
And this is how it's made my life better. And so you apply it that way, and that's where your business takes off because people relate to that and they love that authenticity around it.
That's right.
I feel like we could probably have an entire episode and a half about how you do this with 5 kids at home.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's like
we have to ask the question, right? Because you guys got into foster care, and I know that your story just from going to church with you guys.
I was like, wait a minute, +2 boys?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
But it's a cool story, and obviously, please share that. But like, if you can talk a little bit about number one, how you went from 3 to 5, overnight essentially, but also how does your day look? Saying, okay, we have to get 5 kids out the door.
Yeah, wild.
Right.
Like you go to war every morning.
Correct.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes total
All the
sense.
battle, which is why she's wearing camouflage.
Nobody talks about
Correct, exactly.
Nobody talks about that.
Exactly, right?
Everybody talks about the beautiful sunshine and rainbows that it is to raise children.
Right.
No,
Such a blessing.
Yeah.
And by
It's
the way,
intense.
you're in a job where you have to look put together. You always look put together.
Yeah,
You do.
Every
To your
time
color.
see
And I
you,
don't
I'm
leave
like,
the house every day.
dang
So
it, she's
we
got
go.
her lipstick on.
that's how I
and-
do it. Yeah, that's so funny.
But you are in a role where people are drawn
Correct.
to how you look, right? So you can't leave the house looking
you feel that
schleppy.
pressure? Like you have, like even like I don't know if you care about it when you go to church, but like you're like, all right, I've got to make sure I look like a certain way, or is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like the pressure. I think it's just who I am. Like
You
I
desire
I
to,
care
right?
about being my best in all circumstances. So I wouldn't say it's a pressure that the outside world, I don't feel that at all. No, I feel like it's just who I am. And I truly want to be like a leader in that space. Like I think it's really important for women to take care of themselves because the more we get into like COVID stay-at-home sweatpants culture, I think that's also not good for people's mental health. And
100%, I agree with you.
I
We
think
all feel better when we get up and get ready in the morning.
Yes.
Good, feel
Right?
good.
That's right.
Look
Take
good.
care of yourself. And plus too, like studies show that people make a decision whether they like you, trust you, and want to work with you within 7 seconds of seeing you. So if you didn't even open your mouth and say hi yet. So that's why I'm super passionate about women taking time. I mean, obviously men too, but like my space is women taking time to like get ready and to, whether it's putting, mascara and lip gloss on and that's all you like, be your best self, get dressed, get out of your pajamas.
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
I
love-
We were
yes.
just chatting about eyebrows and
So
how important
important.
eyebrows
Yeah.
are. Like
Every
you
morning.
can't leave home without your eyebrows.
I love it.
That's a thing, Baxter.
I'm aware that
it's a female thing. We have to deal with it.
I have no shame against it.
So tell us. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, even just taking the time to genuinely do self-care as a mom who you're constantly taking care of everybody else in your life, to be able to take 15, 20, 35 minutes in the morning to truly just make yourself feel like your best.
Yes.
It does wonders for your mental health.
Does.
Right. It does.
It does.
Yeah, I can't agree with
we
that more.
feel more confident. I feel more confident walking into a room put
100%.
together than to shovel.
Yes.
Right.
And I tell people, like, I don't care who you are. I'm just nicer when I look good.
It's true.
Amen, sister.
That's not true.
It's true because sometimes we feel crappy about ourselves. We feel crappy about the universe.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I love that. Tell us a little bit about growing your team because Mary Kay is a team sport.
It is a team sport.
So tell us a little bit about that and how you encourage others on the daily to do something that's hard.
Yeah. So growing your team, I think the biggest thing is just find people that align with the culture of your company. Like when I first started my business, I used to think this was for everybody. Now I'm like, this is not for everybody. Some people are crazy and I don't want them working with me, you know? Right.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit bmwusa.com for details.
Listen up, folks. Time could be running out to lock in a historic yield at public.com. As of September 23rd, 2024, you can lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account. But here's the thing. The Federal Reserve just announced a big rate cut, and the plan is for more rate cuts this year and in 2025 as well. That's good news if you're looking to buy a home, but it might not be so good for the interest you earn on your cash. So, if you want to lock in a 6% or higher yield with a diversified portfolio of high yield and investment-grade bonds, you might want to act fast. The good news? It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up at public.com. And once you lock in your yield, you can earn regular interest payments even as rates decline. Lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account at public.com. But hurry, your yield is not locked in until you invest. Brought to you by Public Investing, member FINRA and SIPC. Yield to worst is not guaranteed. Not an investment recommendation. All investing involves risk. Visit public.com/disclosures for more info.
Right.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I think like as a leader in this space, my personal philosophy, and like Mary Kay Ash, who's the founder of our company, who I love and respect so much, she always said there's 3 ways to lead: by example, by example, and by example. And so I truly believe, like, for me, like, if I'm not doing it, I can't expect people to do it too.
Right.
And just knowing too that most people don't care as much as I do, and most people will never do as much as I do. There are the few that will, but in general, like, my job is to truly, lead, provide the training, provide the opportunity, right? Show people what to do, but ultimately it's their decision, what they want to do. And I can love people authentically and truly with whatever they want to do, because a lot of women have like a million other things going on, and Mary Kay is not their full-time job. That's okay.
Right.
I chose for it to be that way. Most women don't. Most women, it's just like, they love the products, they wanted a discount, they wanted this on the side. But the cool thing is it is an incredible business for anyone who wants it. And so I think as a leader, just having the mindset of like, I want to truly love people authentically and genuinely and unconditionally based on what they want, not what I want.
I love that.
That's great, right? Yeah. If we could all be a little nicer.
And everybody and their mom has heard of Mary Kay.
Yes.
Correct.
It is here and it's here to stay for a reason.
Yeah.
There's so many businesses and direct sale style businesses that have popped up along the way, right? You're hearing about all of these different types of makeup brands and skincare lines and all these things. And Mary Kay is like the top because everybody knows it has the longevity.
Yes.
And so to
it
be
has
affiliated
the brand
with
awareness.
someone like with something like that is amazing. That's such a success in and of itself too. Like, you're a successful mom, yet you do something for yourself that also brings you success, which is great.
We talked about this early on in season 1 too. There's really 2 types of entrepreneurs. There's the one that paves the way on their own and creates their own business, like Baxter and Allie have done. Create their own business, create their own plan, and then there's people like me who follow a system and franchised. Similar with you.
Correct.
If things aren't going well for you, there's two places you can go. You can look in the mirror, and then you can also go back to the basics of here's the program of many, 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 many women who've done this.
Correct.
So if you're struggling, just follow their example.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love that when you have that flexibility to do both. I mean, I can make it work on my own, but I have something to fall back on.
Yes.
So you fall in that category of entrepreneur.
Yes, absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit, you're in a unique spot, and this is once again because of how I know you. Where do you feel like on a daily or weekly basis based off of what your husband does for work and what you do for work, right? And kind of marrying those two together, right? Like your husband's a pastor, he's a prominent figure, right? And sometimes the stigma of pastors' wives, right? Like, oh, you must be perfect. You must serve in the church and do nothing else, right? Like serve the family, have
and
25
wear a bun
kids.
in your hair while you're doing it.
Right, type of thing. But then here comes you kind of kicking the door down like, or
right.
I could also be very successful and do all of this as well, right? Like how do you balance that? And have you dealt with any pushback or anything from people along the way? Because you've been at the church for how long?
A long time. Like I've literally grown up there.
Okay.
So yeah. It's funny. Like I remember definitely and I don't think anyone puts that pressure on you except yourself. Right.
Right.
I think that's maybe made up in my own head that there's some sort of, what I should be or whatever.
Sure.
But I think really what it is I obviously love the Lord with my whole heart. And I think I just had to get to a place where I say who did God design me to be? And then it doesn't matter what other people think. Right. It's just, who am I created to be? And, and just being who God created me to be and not being what some stereotype or mold or whatever, what are the gifts that God has given me and how can I be the best at those things?
Yeah. And I love that. And I think that's so important because like you said, sometimes that can be a stigma or something against it. Be like, well, what are you doing? You should be helping here all the time. And it's like, no. And when I worked in ministry, I thought it was great. Somebody that was in ministry for a long time said, hey, we hired you. Like the church hired you. They didn't hire your wife.
That's
they
right.
hired you. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Because my wife was like, yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing things. I'm supposed to be involved. And
yes.
Like, no. They hired Baxter. They didn't hire Liz.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, got it.
Yes.
And that I think kind of took a little bit of the pressure off of us as a family.
Yeah.
But she's like, I have to serve in 43 things. And I gotta do this. And it's like, no, actually, you don't.
Right.
You can do your own thing and you can pave your own path, but then still be present and help.
Correct.
But not feel that pressure to always be having to do something.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I love that.
That is good. Yeah.
Have you encountered anything that was really, really difficult or felt really defeating that you had to overcome?
That was my question.
Well, how long do we have, people?
Just
one thing.
Just one.
Okay.
That made you want to quit, that you had to overcome.
In your journey.
Yes. I would say for me, and again, I always bring it back to my faith because this is such a big part of who I am, but people quitting. Like people that you've invested into.
Yeah.
And I've spent time, so many hours, weeks, months pouring into, and then maybe they have a baby and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe they just realize
the kids again, right?
Maybe they just realize this is not for me. I think for me, it was I had to really shed all this ugly that was inside of me to truly realize no, I have to be like Jesus with skin on and love people unconditionally, no matter what they do in the business, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at people. I'm not angry or bitter. And I have been in the past. That's the hard thing is, right? You have to choose to move past that.
That's what you want to be. That's what our flesh and our human nature wants to.
Right.
And so I think for me, the hardest thing is probably people quitting that you've invested a lot of time into and that literally tears you up inside and you kind of want to just curl up in a ball, but you can't, and that's part of business. It's part of life.
I was just going to say, I think all three of us can relate to that.
Absolutely.
Where we put time and energy and effort into someone that's given up on us.
Yeah. And we've talked about finding your people on the podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And so when you're in that space, whatever your business is, whatever that may look like, finding your people and pouring into the people that want to be there is the most important thing because those people are going to take that and they're going to run with that and they're going to do things that are amazing for themselves, but then also reflect back on you because you've done such an amazing job pouring into them. So as a business owner too, you got to let the ones that were once maybe that fit their goal or whatever. Now it's not the
their
same.
Season.
Your growth. You have to let those people go so that you make room for the people that are meant to be in that space with you.
And genuinely in your heart, learn to celebrate their new season.
Yeah.
Right? Not be bitter.
Happy for them.
And say, I celebrate you. I honor you. I love you. I respect you.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for you.
We talk about that all the time, right? It's hard not to take it personally when a client you've worked with for a year, 2, 3, 10 years, right? And they're like, oh, just kidding. I'm going to go here now. You're like, wait, what? Like, as long as there's stories being told, and I've told that to customers, or to even potential clients of like, hey, you have somebody already, or they switched or whatever. I'm like, I'm just glad you've got someone that you trust that's telling your story, right? Like, I'm happy for you. Like, you know where to find me if something changes, and some do come back, right?
Totally.
Whatever.
And that's not just in business, that's in life. I mean, it's a great life lesson for you as a mom as well. And I know McGuire just auditioned for the Nutcracker, and she didn't quite get the role that she wanted, so she was a little upset about it. And not everybody's going to get the blue ribbon, right? We're living in a world, somebody's got to get second place and third place and fourth place. But how can we learn to be more excited for the people that got the roles that we wanted instead of envious of the people?
Right.
Parenting 101, I feel like my oldest is like, if he doesn't win.
Shoot, I haven't learned it yet. And
if he doesn't win, it is the like, oh, this is the worst. That sucks. I'm like, you need to genuinely be okay with losing at times, or somebody else doing something a little bit better than you, right? Like,
it is a part of life.
Correct. I was told that all the time in sports. There's always somebody faster. There's always somebody stronger. There's always whatever it was, right? And you're like, okay, like, but if I don't win, how do I celebrate those that did? And when I do win, don't be able, haha, you suck, right? Like that type of thing. So
we're not supposed to do that?
Not normally.
Oh, shoot.
Not normally. I'd recommend you find a
too.
different tactic maybe. But
So as we wrap up real quick, tell people how they can get a hold of you if they desire the product, number one, or want just a special, like, make me over. But also if somebody is like, hey, I would love some extra income, or I would love to learn more about the opportunity, who would your ideal candidate be, and how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, that's a great,
it's a segue. It's a commercial for you.
Thank you. I love it.
You're welcome.
So this is so funny, but like, I'm probably a grandma and I'm not super active on social media.
She has a paper calendar, you guys.
I love it.
So cute.
I know.
I could send her an invite.
A lot of people like build their business on social media. I totally am. So you can actually add me as a friend on Facebook, Elizabeth Carlson. That's my legal name.
Okay.
So that's me on Facebook. I am on Instagram, Elizabeth Joy 10. I'm not super active on there, but if you message me on there, I totally will get back to you.
Okay.
But like, I've just found my passion is building my relationship face-to-face, or my business face-to-face through relationships. And so
like local.
Yeah, I probably should get with the times. I do have a lot of customers like elsewhere.
if you're finding
that's
success.
So cool, though.
I
was going to say, if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Well, I'm just like, it takes so much time to record the videos and all that stuff. And honestly, for some people, it fuels their energy. For me, it's not so much. So, but yeah, definitely add me on there. And I would be so grateful. I give free complimentary skincare and makeup consultations all the time.
Okay.
She's coming to do my makeup soon.
I love it. And so I always love to just get people's opinions, and I'm super low pressure. I don't stalk people, or,
you don't slide into their DMs every 3 days.
No, hey girl. That's not my style.
All right. We want to thank you so much for coming and sharing a little bit about your Mary Kay story, and helping our community have some self-care and some self-love.
Right.
Love that.
That's right. Making women more beautiful every day. I love it. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you for being on.
Appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
Perfect. Thanks. And we'll see you next time on the Real Chat Podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
Listen up, folks. Time could be running out to lock in a historic yield at Public.com. As of September 23rd, 2024, you can lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account. But here's the thing. The Federal Reserve just announced a big rate cut, and the plan is for more rate cuts this year and in 2025 as well. That's good news if you're looking to buy a home, but it might not be so good for the interest you earn on your cash. So, if you want to lock in a 6% or higher yield with a diversified portfolio of high yield and investment-grade bonds, you might want to act fast. The good news? It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up at Public.com. And once you lock in your yield, you can earn regular interest payments even as rates decline. Lock in a 6% or higher yield with a bond account at Public.com. But hurry, your yield is not locked in until you invest. Brought to you by Public Investing, member FINRA and SIPC. Yield to worst is not guaranteed. Not an investment recommendation. All investing involves risk. Visit Public.com/disclosures for more info.